Thank you for joining the October 30th, 2018 VOLTHA call. We'll be going over some issues for the last week of Sprint 9 for VOLTHA 2.0 today. And we do record this to post it to YouTube, so please keep that in mind during presentations or discussions of material. And with that, I think we will go ahead and get started today. We have a few new JIRAs, not a lot, but a few to go over this morning. And then I made a couple notes here. We need to find some reviewers in Garrett for a few of the bugs that were opened. And then hopefully we'll have a few comments on the experience at Broadband World Forum. So we'll do that after the review of the new JIRAs. And then this is our final week for Sprint 9. So we'll be going over status updates. And I have a couple listed down here related to the tech profile work that I wanted to make sure we address specifically. I think we're still in the process of getting some reviews completed and items merged in. And then just a follow-up question. I think there's some more stories that should be mapped in for Sprint 9, but I'm not sure which ones to include. We'll try and get that cleaned up. I do have an item that came in for an additional discussion request for today, and that's related to the creating a story for Sprint 10 on the containerization of the OpenOLT adapter. I'll also create a placeholder for Sprint 10 this week so we can start mapping stories in as well. And then if we have some time left at the end, then we'll kind of quickly recap where we are with upcoming demos and discussion topics, and then see if there are any items for this Thursday for deep dive discussions. And if not, then we may use Thursday for sprint planning for Sprint 10. So with that, let's jump into the new JIRAs. And let me go over to that screen.
Hey, Julie, are you the caller 01? It seems like you are the...
I should be linked. Oh, how strange.
Yeah, okay, that's okay.
It didn't link me. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Every day's a new adventure. All right. So the first few items we have here are a series of some defects that were opened. We've got vol 1301, 2, and 3. And I did note those over on this item here where I noticed that we do need some reviewers in Garrett for those, and particularly ones that could perform merges if required to put those forward. So let's take a look at the first three items. 1301. And I need to rearrange my screen a little so I can get to the controls. So bear with me a moment. Okay, now I can scroll. First one, PONSIM Ethernet type flow matching doesn't handle Q and Q headers. And so this is one where I think this was targeted for 1.5, not for 2.0. And it's related to some work in the cBand box environment. And so, and I'm not sure, I don't think we have Andy on the call here, but this is related to PONSIM not trapping DHCP packets to the controller, and then a description of the issue here. And then the proposal down here is that the solution would be to modify PONSIM's Ethernet type flow matching code to look at the type of the innermost 802.1q header. And there is a related item in Garrett, and so that is here. And it is currently assigned, or Stefan has been assigned as a reviewer, but I don't believe, I can't get the hover text to come up. I believe when I checked earlier, yeah, I don't think that Stefan could do a +2 on this either. So I think we need additional folks taking a look at this. So let me see. Yes.
Shad, do you have the +2 capability?
Yeah, I may have. Julie, could you add me as a reviewer?
Sure. Let me do that after the call.
I added. I'm adding.
You added? Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Shad, you have +2 for this. I know you just got back from BBWF. I know you have a lot of time.
So we have. So Shad, if you can take a look at that, that would be great. And then 1302, we may be, I think, in the same boat here. And this one, Jono was on here, but of course he needs to be removed as a reviewer. And then, oh, I didn't go over the description. I'm sorry, I just jumped right ahead. 1302 is for PondSim packet out issue with downstream Q and Q tagged packets. And this one is, again, a proposed solution here is to strip off the existing Q and Q headers before adding a new header. And so again, this one is targeted for 1.5. And let me see if I opened up, let me close, gear it up. And
so what does it mean target for 1.5? The 1.5 already cut, right? So does it mean have to
so I think it means for that branch, but I'm not quite sure what Andy's intent is here. I think they want it on the 1.5 branch for SIBA in a box. So I expect we need to carry it over to 2.0 as well.
This is about the packet out, right? Would they be involved with ONOS? I'm adding. Pardon me?
I think the 1.5 is just to, I mean, there was an earlier notion of, I mean, there is a branch for 1.5, and there was a notion of letting the master be continue as 2.0 and branch out 1.5 and kind of double commit both in master and in 1.5 the things that you want to merge onto 1.5 branch. So, but I don't think that's happening. Nobody's really committing anything on the 1.5 branch. Right. So everything can just go on on master.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think as long as it's on master, we don't know what I'm curious. Once this implemented, PondSim, right? So is Ken on the call? I mean, there is a VOLTHA 2.0 PondSim also. Does it mean the same thing? David? What? David?
Well, it will mean the same thing, right? Like if whatever we do for 1.5 will be the same for 2.0. So
okay.
If there's a change that needs to go in one of them, chances it will need to go in 2.0 as well.
Yeah, anything going into 1.5, I would hope is only for stability of existing functionality. We shouldn't really be doing anything in there that's new and creative, certainly.
Yep.
But I think the reality is that things are happening still on the current master. Call it 1.5 or call it whatever.
Well, I guess in this case, I'm considering 1.5 to be the specific branch and master to be something that's not 1.5.
So the reality is
meaning master is now, whatever it needs to be for features going forward, but 1.5, like any branch is, unless there's something fundamentally broken or something like that,
We can ask Andy to clarify that. I think probably we all meant the same thing. I think Shad was saying, right, all the stuff will be put in the master branch. So we can ask Andy. Julie, I'll send the email to ask Andy. So Shad, I put you on the hook for this one also. Or I don't know whether Ken, do you want to do something about this for review?
Yeah, please add me as well.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, and then let's go to the third one because that's in the same group. I find it. Pardon?
Nothing. Sorry, we weren't muted for a second.
That sounds like it's on. Good morning.
1303. Uni trap flows created by Flow Decomposer are incomplete. This one we do not have a fix targeted when the ticket was opened. And this, whoops, let me scroll down so we can see the description.
That's also Andy?
Yep, this is also opened by Andy in that same batch.
We had some VOLTHA discussion on this one last week that most everybody was at BBWF didn't respond. I had some just general concern about it changing the core flow decomposer for a problem that was specific to PonSim. That others might want to chime in on the solution that was proposed there, but he was looking at pushing flows with the trap rules all the way to the ONU, which I don't think is necessary for other adapters.
This is Girish here. I think this is necessary. I mean, I'm working on tech profile, and I see that the EA pole flow, which is a controller bound flow, is not received at the ONU adapter. So I think your patch will fix the problem for me too, but I would like to hear others' opinion about this.
So Girish, yeah, I recall that, and in your comment, I had added a comment where I mentioned that the EA pole, the flow decomposer does. That's what I had last time I was testing. The flow decomposer does decompose the EA pole flow, and does call the ONU adapter with the decomposed EA pole flow. And I think this was a change made by Jono just before he left, and I can point you to that place in the Broadcom ONU adapter where it checks for the ETH type and ignores this particular EA pole flow. So if you go to your comment, there's a comment over there, and I put the line numbers of the Broadcom ONU adapter where this check is being done. So at least that used to get hit when for an EA pole flow on the Broadcom ONU adapter.
Okay, let me double check on that.
To be clear, it's a little bit different than the problem that Andy was trying to solve here, which was adding a rule to the ONU for the internal VLAN that's used between ONU and OLT PonSim adapters, or PonSim instances.
Okay.
Not the C tag or the S tag. He's trying to push the VLAN 128, which is the logical gem port, which is used between the two processes.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this, but yeah, I don't think we should be doing anything. Everything should be coming from northbound ONOS or wherever, and if this is something that's being done within VOLTHA, then I don't think that's the right way.
Yeah, I think maybe this brings up what we were talking about in the Garrett thread and VOLTHA Discuss, where we might need to have a separate discussion on changing how, maybe implicit flows or flows that don't come from northbound get pushed in. Because right now the ONU adapter just creates one on its own with a whole lot of assumptions, but really if that could be clued in from some northbound decomposition, maybe allowing that EAP flow to flow all the way through. It sounded like it could fix Girish's tech profile work and would simplify ONU startup as well. But it may be a good subject for like Thursday or something like that.
I was just going to ask if that would be a good idea to target that for Thursday.
I would think.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can discuss this whole 4091 VLAN thing, which is very AT&T specific, and
right, in the context of Volt 1093 as well.
Did you say 1093?
Yeah, 1093.
What was that? Okay.
The Jira ticket 1093.
Okay. Okay, just some little notes for myself here. So we'll target a discussion on this general topic on Thursday, and then as Sean requested, also include Vol 1093 at that same time. Okay, so I think we've got two of these that will get the reviews moving forward. The third one will target some related discussion on Thursday's call this week. And then anything else on that item that we need to discuss today, I think probably we can hold off until Thursday so people can take a deeper look offline. Okay, Next is another defect that was opened, 1304, continuous alarm off indication on the OpenOLT. And then this one, Chad, I think you had this one assigned to yourself. And question on, do we think this will get handled in 2.0? Maybe during the hardening sprint, or any thoughts on the timing for this one, Chad, or others?
Yeah, this is like, this doesn't really affect functionality, but it just clutters the logs. So yeah, it's a candidate for hardening. It's also, if for 2.0 we want to bump, there is a new SDK beyond the one that we're using that's available from Broadcom.
Okay.
If we have time to move on to that, then maybe this would be solved. I mean, this may go away when we upgrade our SDK. So yeah. It's not a super important issue here, but yeah, we can take it up in hardening.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, but I don't think this is happening all the time. This is just here's issue. I don't see this. I don't know if you see this problem, but I've never seen this one.
No, it's on the. So on the Acer Volt 16, I see it all the time. It's like a continuous log that keeps getting reported. Yeah.
Yeah, this is coming out of the Broadcom drivers, and then it's being grabbed by VOLTHA.
Yeah, that's right.
It's coming out of the link scan and Broadcom drivers and pushing this way up.
It could be a configuration thing too. I just haven't taken a look at it. So it could be some BAL config setting that I have to tweak.
So you're going to be looking down on the VOL driver then for this, rather than trying to address it to suppress it up in the OLT driver. That's right.
I would like to fix it in where it's happening, rather than suppress it up in VOLTHA or someplace like that. So okay. Yeah, I just have to spend some time on this. I don't know if Girish is seeing this as well, because he's on a Acer Volt 16.
Okay. So basically, this one happened in both direct.
Yes. Shad, I'm seeing this alarms on the OLT as well.
Okay.
With the ASF OLT 16 adapter.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, So Girish, if you get a chance, if you to look around with, want to take a look at this as well. Yeah. But yeah, it's down in the driver somewhere.
So okay. So sorry, I distracted. So Shai, what you're saying is, it's a driver may not be BAL, or it's the same thing. Sorry.
No, the BAL core. So we have a BAL core executable that runs the actual Broadcom SDK driver.
SDK, right?
Yeah, so that is reporting. That reports this alarm. It's just doing a scan and keeps saying that there's no alarm. It keeps raising this indication. The indication gets picked up by the OpenOLT agent on the device and then gets reported up to VOLTHA all the way. So yeah.
So is there any potential fix the Broadcom need to do, or so after you look, will you actually open it?
The turnaround time with Broadcom is so this thing we could just raise one. We could raise one and wait for it, I think the right way to do it is just raise a CSP. I would take a quick look at it before doing that.
Yeah.
I think we have already raised this issue. Let me check my CSP list. If it is there, I'll just report the same back on the VOLTHA discuss.
That'll be great.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you. All right. Other discussion on this one? Yes.
With regard to the new BAL release, we did discuss that last week. There is a story someplace.
Jason was looking at. There's a 2613, right? I think it's a new BAL 2613 had some bug fix.
Yeah, but I can't find the Jira.
I think it's
1299.
Yep. Oh, I remember the number. Can you believe that? Okay. Yeah. And then so I think Jason already have a Shad, if you're not aware about this ticket, Jason has posted this one, 1299.
So is he going to do the migration as well for the OpenOLT agent, or is he just saying that there is the Acton patch available?
I think Jason, let me speak for you a little bit. So the Edge Core test this new BAL, but they are using the new ONL. So there's also ONL patch is suggest to be upgraded. So
yeah, okay. Jason, I didn't know you were there. So Jason, will Edge Core be volunteering to upgrade the OpenOLT agent to the new ONL and the new and the BAL version? Because I was doing this for I think I've done this twice. So if somebody can if Edge Core can volunteer, that would be great.
Yeah. We upgrade the new ONL to the new kernel version, and this kernel version is support Docker container. So if we want to use the adapter in the list ONL with this kernel, you need to upgrade the software, and because especially, and we also upgrade the glibc, so you need to compile a new library with a new kernel. So and we had delivered the new patch, the 2.6.1.3 patch file to the CSP number. So you can download this patch file, can build for your source code, and test the agent adapter in the OLT. But now situation ONL is in the code review stage, not released to the master. So we will keep on eyes list programs.
Okay, thanks.
But Shad, does it answer your question? You're talking about the OpenOLT portion of the upgrade, right?
Yeah. So what I get from Jason is that all the pieces are available. Now somebody needs to actually make the changes in OpenOLT's make file, to use these pieces and try that whole thing out. So I think that's something somebody needs to take up.
We had tried to compile the OpenOLT adapter and to do some use case and with the VOLTHA, but it can work now. So I don't know this and 1.5 version or some later version can do this test. So maybe everybody can verify this new kernel.
Yes. So Jason, if you've already tried it out, why don't you upload the patch so that the users over here, like Girish, Craig, and myself, we can test it out. If you already made those changes, then I guess
no, we don't have it. We don't have. We just keep the original design source code to do some test. So and we can and test the traffic. It's work fine. It's work fine, but not much more test for every test item. Just traffic flow can do the past UNI and I just like list test. So you can try the many test case.
Okay.
I think, Shad, maybe there's some. Let's do it offline. I think there's some. so you're basically on the make file you need to change also, right? So that's in the GitHub repository also. So let's do this offline.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Shad, Jason, and Sean. So we'll move on then to the last item. Let me refresh the screen, see if anything else came in. It happens during the call often. So,
really?
13, it has. I've had that happen a number of times. Vol 1305, BBSIM, separation of DHCP and AAA emulation part from OLT ONU emulation part. And this one was created by Keita-san and assigned to him as well for Sprint 9. And I thought I saw, oh, maybe I don't see Keita on today. Okay, so we have the description of the item here as well. So if there are any questions we need to take back to Keita, please let me know. And that's it for our new issues for this week for today's meeting. Okay, let me go back to the agenda. And then the next item, we wanted to see if we could get some brief comments or updates on the experience at BBWF. And Shad, I think you offered to make a few comments and statements.
Okay, I'll try to be quick. Julie, if you can give me presentation, I'll just put up the slide that we had up in the booth, and that'll kind of was pretty self-explanatory here.
Give me 1 second. Okay, you should have presentation rights.
So let me know when you see my screen.
Yes.
We can see it.
Yeah. So so this is what the demo was about. It was showing kind of a multi-vendor kind of interoperability, but the ability of VOLTHA, ONOS, and to handle multiple OLTs and ONUs. So we had an edge core with Alpha, Escritel, and Arcadian ONUs, ATTRANS, OLT and ATTRANS ONU, CIGs, and Escritel and OLTs and ONUs. And yeah, so we have an edge core aggregation switch, also controlled by ONOS. And I guess everyone is familiar with the rest of the stuff with DHCP, DHCP radius EAPOL happening. And so this was all done a week before the staging was done in Deutsche Telekom's I think Berlin office. Luca from ONF was there a week before, along with vendors, with all the vendors over there, and it took about about 4 days for this to come together. So it was pretty seamless when we went to the booth. It was we just we took the rack along with us and just had to power it up, and the whole thing just came up, and the demo was repeated maybe 4 or 5 dozen times throughout the 3 days. So
4 or 5 dozen times. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So there was the booth was pretty not in a traffic area, but surprisingly this year in BBWF, we all thought it was a little less of attendance, but the ONF booth was there's quite a lot of traffic, quite a lot of interest, and
and I also have heard from Tom Anchus, the booth actually is on the corner, so it's kind of far away from the entrance, right?
Yeah. We were right at the back. I think we took the cheapest one.
And then people do walk there to see the demo. I think means they are interested, so that's good. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and there was interestingly there was BBWF's OpenBAA a small booth as well, and then they had their demos. I saw their demo, and it was with Nokia and Huawei OLTs. It was basically a configuration demo, and interestingly, the next day Meteo Meteo went over there, and he asked for a demo, but they didn't give him a demo because the exact words were we were. I mean, not ONF, or maybe the community. I don't know what it was meant, but that it was viewed as competitors. So,
what?
Yeah. So they refused a demo, actually.
Hey, Shad, please spice up this call a little bit. So Mateo didn't see the demo?
No, man, he was refused a demo. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah. So this is I mean, there was an interest from a lot of vendors. The specific questions were, what is needed to get their OLT and ONUs into this, included in the VOLTHA SIVA project, there were a couple of service providers. The most interested was TELUS from Canada, and they really they wanted to follow up with they were requesting documentation and links and things like that. And this was I think they're one of their fellow engineers,
okay,
who's working on the GPON side of things. So yeah, all in all, I think it was a fairly good response, and I think people and a lot of critical response as well, of course, and yeah, about the way it's being done. I mean, the SDN way of doing things over here. Yeah, so that's about it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Shad. Any questions for Shad?
Sean, do you have any comment you want to also add?
Yeah, I saw the demo. I don't know if it was a full demo, but I mean, there wasn't really much to show from the BAA demo perspective, and it's fairly early days from the BAA development. I mean, I just saw basically some netconf yang on the screen for configuring a G.fast interface. The rest of it seemed to be like slideware, so yeah, there's still got a little bit of a ways to go, I think. But you know, they're out there showing that they're doing something.
So I think that's. Yeah. Sorry, Shad.
Yeah, and the thing was, Kieta not here, so Kieta worked pretty hard in the last week before the demo to get BBSIM scale, and we were having issues. So this BBSIM came in pretty late, so we were having issues including BBSIM and the physical OLTs. Kind of funny things kept happening, like ONU discoveries won't happen. Not just on the BBSIM, but on the physical OLT. So it looked like a scaling, really, I mean, could have unearthed some kind of a scaling issue, is when you bring in BBSIM with, like, say, a few OLTs and a couple of dozen ONUs, it really interferes with the physical OLTs, in the sense that the ONU you're missing ONU discovers, or I mean, we all thought that, so that's why we didn't include BBSIM in the actual demo in the booth. But maybe this is something that we need to explore, as to, I mean, there seems to be some issue in scaling this thing. And I think from ONF side, I think we kind of agreed upon that in the next couple of weeks we'll sort of try to work a little bit on this BBSIM, because I don't think Kieta is going to be devoting more time on it, but work on this BBSIM and kind of try scaling 1.5 and trying to fix some issues.
Well, it's welcome to VOLTHA 2.0.
One thing I'm wondering is, and definitely I think the VOLTHA 2.0, the restructuring has that in mind. I think the scalability definitely was one of the big drivers for the restructure, right? So one other thing is and of course we don't have that many physical ONTs. Would that be a BBSIM versus the physical device differences?
I don't know. We don't know. We just, I mean, the BBSIM came in just the last week, and so we have, nobody really debugged to see what's happening when you start BBSIM and the physical OLTs. What kind of what the issues really are. So not sure. But it's not just. I mean, BBSIM shouldn't mess around with physical OLTs. I mean, you can understand BBSIM if you try to scale it, and if it's not functioning fine, that's a different thing. But the fact that it is interfering with the physical OLTs, which are like a handful of them.
So Shad, I think you said that ONF is planning to do some investigation over the next few weeks. So is that maybe something we could target a follow-up discussion once you have some more information on that?
Yeah, I mean, this was just a thought process. I mean, we just had thought that we need to take a look at BBSIM and kind of figure out what this issue is. Why can't we use BBSIM to scale? So yeah, nothing concrete. But if I think many of us are on working from home or PTO this week, so maybe next week we'll have some plans.
Okay.
And of course, shall we open a Jira ticket for this one to track it?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that.
Thank you.
The only other comment that I had was it was a common theme is people asking for documentation, people asking for interface definitions, and that is, I think, something. It was not like we have some crisp documentation or interface definition that we can point to, so I think that was a common theme that kept recurring.
Yeah. One thing I'm wondering, from now toward the ONF Connect, it's not just for the VOLTHA, right? I think it's for the whole SIBA. Is that something we can make some improvement within within 1 month? What does the community think? I think the documentation is not release notes. It's actually about installation. It's about all the detailed stuff, right? So I'm wondering, we definitely need to drive something. Otherwise, the same question will come up again for the ONF Connect.
Yeah, I think ONF has been doing some documentation. There's a SIBA guide, deployment guide, but it's more towards deployment. I think the questions, many of the questions were towards integration as to how northbound, what is the APIs on the northbound. In VOLTHA as well, what's the northbound interface? So it's you got to say that it's an open flow and gRPC, and where is the gRPC interface? You got to say that it's somewhere in a protobuf somewhere. So it's
Okay, thanks, Shad. Is it all right if I take presentation rights back?
Sure, please.
Okay, will do. Okay, and Sean, related to the documentation, one thing that we could do is to create some related tasks in JIRA for specific documentation requests that need to be fulfilled. And then, we wouldn't necessarily be mapping those into sprints, but if we have the tasks in there, then we can make sure we don't lose track of them. And when they're updated, on the wiki or forever, then we can close those out. Maybe one thing to pursue for some of the documentation.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for that. So Shad, thanks for the update from BBWF, appreciate that, and for all the effort from everyone involved in the work that went forth there. So much appreciated and glad to see that the demo went well. And then I think our next item here is sprint updates for Sprint 9. And again, we're targeting to end it this Friday, so we just have the remainder of this week for that. So the first two I want to go follow up on are the two that have been kind of lingering for tech profile work. So we'll jump over to those now. Let me scroll down. I know there's been some discussion on a few of these. So we'll start with 733 since that's the first that I pulled up on the screen. And, oh, I should have done this from, sorry, I can't get to Garrett from this screen. Let me go back and check where we are in this. Okay, so I think there'd been some dialogue back and forth, and then the latest patch set, I think we may still be needing some review of the final changes that went in based on the feedback that Corey received, and then see if we can get this merged in. So just want to make sure folks who are looking at it are aware of the additional work that's gone in. Let me see if Corey's on today. I do see you on the bridge. Any comments or questions for the group?
Hey, Julie. Yeah, last week I made some updates according to the commands of Ken. And basically I need some reviews from Ken as well as from the other reviewers to leave some comments according to the changes that I have made.
Okay, thank you. So Ken, I think we'll probably ask you again if you could take a look at this and see if the updates meet what you were looking for, and then we'll see if we can get this one merged in this week. Ken, is that all
sure.
right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, then let me go on to the next item, which is 732. And on 732, I think I saw Gamza on here as well. And I think where we're waiting for this one is for the Garrett for the status change. Is that right? For this first one in the list of updated changes. Okay. And so this one, there's been some discussion, and then some changes have gone in. So I'm not sure if we need Mateo to go back and take a look at this, or if there's someone else we need to tag at this point. And make sure he has the 2. Yes, and he has the +2. And Sean, oops, so I think Sean said he had to get right back. Okay. So Shad, is this something, do you think this would belong for Mateo to try and get this one merged in? I think that's probably the case. And he's got the +2 on here, and he'd had some comments to Gamza before.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So is there anyone else we need to get reviews from? Let's see, David had given some comments previously, but hopefully we can get this one completed this week, because that's blocking a couple of the other related merges as well. Okay. Gamza, so we'll see if we can push this one along. I'll see if either Sean or myself can reach out to Mateo and try and see if we can get this one in for that first item. Let me scroll back down to the list of the other changes. And then for once that one is merged in, then I think 949 and 732, the related Garrett's here, those will pass Jenkins, and then we'll need the reviews from related folks, and so see if we can get that done. Any other items you need to specifically discuss with the group for this? I know we've been making slow progress here, but hopefully we can get the related changes merged in this week. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and move on then. Let me go back to the agenda. So did I see Sergio on? I don't see him on now. So Ken, I have a question for you. For 679, so this is the Affinity Router Epic. And if I can find it here it is. So this one has a number of related stories. I'm thinking we probably need to map the stories into Sprint 9 as well, but I'm not sure if all of them belong in Sprint 9, so I wanted to check before I did anything.
I will leave it up to Seju on that one, because he has made progress on pretty much on all of them. So I don't know which part of it is like actually will be 9 or 10.
Okay, so I'll contact Sergio then. I thought I saw him on.
I'm on, by the way.
You are.
You can't see me. I don't know why you can't see me.
Oh, there you are. I see you on the bottom now. Okay. So Sergio, if you could just let me know, or you can do it after the call is fine, which of these that I can move into Sprint 9, I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay, so yeah, some of these need to change a bit because we're using a toy right now, new affinity routing, a gRPC affinity routing as opposed to generic. So I'll have to go update those.
Okay.
Just going into Sprint 9 and 10.
You're breaking up a bit. I did hear
I'll have to change. I have to change them.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to update them. Yeah.
All right.
I'll do that.
Thank you for that, Sergio. And then let me go back to the agenda. I think those were the specific ones I wanted to make sure we got to today. Let me go back to the active sprint. Are there other, we've got about 12 minutes left. Are there other items that people are working on that they are running into issues or need some feedback from the community that we can bring up on the call today? Okay, I'm not hearing any. So for the in-flight work, everything is hopefully on track for completion in Sprint 9? I'm going to take silence as a positive. Yes. And I think one other one I wanted to touch on is this one. So 1022. So we've had some discussion back and forth over the last few days. So this is one we had to remove the assignee that we had to it, and then we're looking for a new owner. And so we've got some dialogue going here. Is there anything we need to discuss with the group today? So Jason, I saw you posted some questions, and Amit, you had some replies back.
Julie, you can take me.
Pardon? I'm sorry.
You can take me.
I can assign you to this?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Let's see. Where are you? Here we go. Thank you. So appreciate that. I appreciate you stepping up to take that on. And then for let me see if we've got Bjorn on today. I don't see Bjorn, but if you need additional feedback, from DT, just feel free to reach out, or if you need assistance, let Sean or myself know as well, and we'll see what we can do. I think those were the main ones I wanted to take a look at. Shad, are you still on the bridge?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I had one question on 1292. This is one for bump, ONOS, and app versions. I know that it's been done at one point, and there's a closed Garrett. Is there additional bump we're expecting, or should this one be closed?
This is closed.
Okay, I'll move that to done then. Thanks. Okay. Then I think those were the items I wanted to go over. And then let me go back to this screen here. And Sean Ying, are you back on the bridge?
I am.
Okay. So I wanted to check with you. We'd been talking about having a larger discussion on multicast and doing some brainstorming with one of the Thursday calls. So now that BBF is over, I think it's time for us to start getting that lined up with a date. And
I don't think it'll be this weekend. This week, maybe let's target next Thursday.
Yeah.
If we have some demo next Thursday, if we don't have demo to do next Thursday,
okay,
we can target next Thursday.
Okay, I think we may have a demo, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. And this Thursday, we do have a discussion topic identified, and so we do have some work lined up on Thursday's call. So we'll look at next week and see how this shapes up. I just wanted to check in with Craig. We talked about for the week of November 6th, which is next week, a tentative target for the proposed design for the multiple unis per ONU. Is that still a reasonable target at this point, subject to change?
Yeah, I think so. You know, there's been a number of dialogues going on this week trying to extract some information of what we need to get done, and I think there's a little bit more dependency on getting the tech profile work that Girish is working on completed before I can really get moving on this story. So there is some dependency that we need to address.
Okay. So we'll have this still as a tentative maybe for next Thursday, and then I'll follow up with you next week and see if that looks like it's on track still. And then Ken, I wanted to check with you also. We had a tentative target of the first week of Sprint 10, which is also next week, for the PONSIM v2 demo. Does that still look realistic at this point, or, you know, of course, subject to change?
Yes, for next Thursday, yes. So basically, this is the containerization of PONSIM adapters.
Yes.
And integration with the core.
Yes.
So Julie, maybe so next week we're not going to talk about the multicast. We'll, you know.
Right. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So we'll have this one demo, and then if we have this discussion as well, I think those two together may take up the time. If we defer one of them because of schedules or other issues, then I think we could slot in the multicast.
I think I'd rather to have the 2.0 moving forward, you know, do whatever. We don't want to interrupt anything. So maybe what you can do is put the bullet of the first item to the last. So
sure, I can do that. That's I'll
so
do
I
that
can read
afterwards.
out the bullet first before I talk.
Well, and what I'll be doing also is, since these two, we have a tentative target for next Thursday, I'll put them with an assigned date here. And then the others will remain in the to be scheduled state. So that will help as well. Okay. Thank you for that, everyone. And I think Shad was going to create this story. Is that right? For the containerization of the OpenOLT adapter.
Yes, I will get. I haven't got to it, so
Okay.
that's great.
And is there any discussion we need on this? Oh, Arun, I think you had a comment.
Yeah, Julie.
Yeah, why not we have Arun? Arun is the first. He's going to start. He probably will start this pretty soon. So why don't Arun create the Jira? If Arun, are you okay with that? I can review it.
Yeah, Shad, actually I can create that, but before that I wanted to have a brief discussion about the work items in this particular task.
Okay.
Yeah. So all right. So I started looking into the architecture and the VOLTHA version 1 code and the VOLTHA Go repo, which Ken has provided me. And by the way, I wanted to thank Ken for giving all the relevant details, and it has helped me to understand the things. So what I have seen in the code right now for the Volta Go, there is the adapters are there for the PONSIM, OLT, and ONU, and I can see that the Dockers are being created in that. The make files and all are there. So I was thinking, I mean, using the reference of PONSIM OLT adapters, I can start working on the open OLT adapter containerization. So if that is the correct assumption, the one apparent task which I can see here is to create a Docker for the open OLT adapter, which by the way is not right now in the Volta Go repo. So my two questions are, I mean, is there anything else other than creating the Docker to this task? And when the OpenOLT adapter will be available in the Volta Go repo? I think that will be the repo which we will be using for version 2.
Arun, as I understand, the Volta Go repo, and can correct me, is the core. So you would have to have your own repo if you want to start doing something for the OpenOLT adapter. So you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in the Volta Go repo, just for us to go to keep moving. So there is the actual Volta core, the Go code, and also I created directory there for adapters. In that one, I have the PONSIM OLT and PONSIM ONU and any other required dependencies under that, just to be able to compile them and create the Dockers and run them. Eventually, whether we want to keep it there or we want to move it somewhere else, that's up to, then we'll figure out where to. Yeah. For now, we can leave it there. But to answer your question, Arun, there is also I think Shad also mentioned a couple of weeks ago about the way you want to approach containerization for OpenOLT, where you wanted to have this kind of shim layer where you would be able to talk to both 1.x and 2.0 core. So given that, then maybe that work needs to start, and I don't know which repo you want to put that one in, and then move from there.
Yeah, just another thing about Volta Go, the affinity router is also going to go in there. So it's that repository is beginning to grow. It's not just for the core, I don't think.
Yeah, that's correct. It's for anything that we're for 2.0, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
So
okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Arun.
Yeah, Shad. So I was saying, so I have seen the data directory structure of Volta Go, and I was able to see similarities of the directory structure which Ken has given in his presentation. So I was in the impression that that will be used for version 2.0, and the adapters directory which is there. I think that I thought that would be the root directory for the adapters, and inside that we will put all the different adapters that we are actually planning to containerize. So that was my first assumption. So
yeah, I mean, Arun, I mean, you are for now you're driving this. I think from what I'm hearing, let's start with what Ken has in Volta Go, and I don't want to hold you up by my work on this refactoring the code to kind of take out the common part and reuse it. So if you have if you think you're ready to go and you can take whatever is there right now. I mean, so you have the choices of going completely on your own with not just Python, but maybe rewriting the whole thing in Go. Or if you want to reuse code which is there from 1.x, then either copying over the entire thing and starting from there, or waiting for me to finish my kind of a refactoring. So you have these three options in front of you from what I can see. And the second option of you kind of taking the code that's right now there in VOLTHA in 1.x and taking that as a base and containerizing that, and then I can come along when I'm done with my refactoring. I can come and make my changes over there. So I think the second option of, if you don't want to go with Go with using Golang, which I don't think is a bad idea as well. So if you're going with Golang, then of course this is all moot. You just start from scratch. But if you want to go with Python, then rather than wait for me to finish, have this dependency, you could go with what is. If you think that you can go with what is there, we have in 1.5, and start containerizing that. That's, I think, is a better option.
Yeah, I think that will work for me also, Shant, because with this particular, I mean, while I'm starting working on that, I'll become more familiarized with the code and everything. So I don't think that for the very first task, if I go with the from scratch with Go language, that will be actually good for me. I think I can work on the existing code and start containerizing that, and let's see after that.
Sure. Okay.
So that said, so whatever the code which is there in the VOLTHA 1.0 repository inside adapters OpenOLT, that is the target code for the containerization. Is it correct?
That's right.
Yeah, and one more thing, Shad, I will actually request if you can create a Jira ticket, because I think you will be you will have more information than me to create some detailed story items, and which I can actually follow and start working on them.
I'll do that. We can have that as an epic, and then because this is quite a big chunk of work, so we can have that as an epic and then have stories within that. I'll do that.
And yeah, and I'll appreciate that if we can have some offline discussions or over the email. That will be actually helpful to me.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Shad. Thanks, Julie.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Thanks.
And we are over time by a couple of minutes. I'm going to go ahead and close up the meeting. One quick last call for any comments or questions for today. All right, we'll go ahead and drop the bridge. So thanks everyone. It'll close.